So now we are entering the post session Q&A. I'll just take few questions, not many today because we are already at 11:20. So we'll try to keep it brief. Yes, guys, questions.
Devanshu, quick question. Can we,
Yeah, Devanshu, I have
can we
one
go
question.
with this process with the
One second. Your voice is very bleak. Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, Devanshu, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay. So since this is like, can we enable this extraction as a real time, like event based, like when there is any change there, instead of like going to the DTP and all, like, is there a way can we
Streaming. You have to activate the streaming process chain. Yes, you can make it real time. But the data source should allow you, first thing, your first criteria to check whether you want, can you make this real time is data source. Okay. So let's go to the data source. Where is our flow? I'm always going via the flow. So where is this one item? Okay. So check your data source. Yeah, streaming can be triggered. Always come and check whether streaming is possible or not. Not every data source will allow streaming. So if it says streaming can be triggered by this data source, you can activate streaming via either the start node of the process chain or DTP. There are two agents for streaming. Streaming is supported by either the start node of the process chain, which is the first node, or your DTP. Okay. So either one of them you use and you can activate the streaming. So real time is possible. Yes.
So that's a new concept in the process chain?
Yes, that's a new concept in the process chain. When we will deal with process chain, I'll show you that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Devanshu,
my questions are there in Excel.
One at a time, guys, and please state your name and then you can ask a question.
Devanshu, this is Vijay. My questions are there in the Excel.
Oh yes, sorry. Thanks for the reminder.
You can ignore the second question because you answered already. You can take only first one question.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Questions from, I think I have already noted down. I don't have to go there. Yeah. Is it the same? Okay. Any performance consideration we need to keep in mind while we extract data from CDS? Very good question. Absolutely. You have to keep certain performance consideration. Use left outer join as much as possible. Don't go for inner join. Inner joins are expensive. Maybe faster, but they are expensive. Left outer joins are better from performance standpoint because inner join sometimes if it's billions of records on the left side, millions of records on the right side, it's going to check the rows. But left outer join, if you don't have anything requested from the right side, it will not execute that particular check on the right side. So left outer joins, please use them for CDS views when you're doing the join. Always try to join on the key fields. So these are the common guidelines. They are not new guidelines. Common guidelines which are also there for any joins. For calculation views also same thing. Do not do any join on the calculated column. So say for example, if you have a calculated column, okay, let me write it down. Okay, so CDS view. In fact, I have some CDS view performance annotation also, so I'll make it a new page. CDS view performance guidelines. Okay, so first thing is you should left outer join. Second, no join on calculated columns. Meaning, if you have a column which you have calculated, okay, and then you are putting a join based on that column, that's going to be performance intensive. Then use parameters and where conditions in the CDS view as much as possible. Take only required columns. Don't take everything. That's going to be performance hog. Say for example, in the standard CDS view, you have 100 fields. Only take those fields which you require. You might not be requiring 100 every time. So if you require only 10, just do 10. Don't say that, okay, CDS view, I'll have all the fields, And in the data source or the ADSO, I will choose and I'll just replicate only those fields. Don't do that because performance-wise, CDS view will not be good if you take everything from the CDS, standard CDS views. And then use performance annotations, performance related annotations wherever possible. Okay, so when I say performance related annotation, what do I mean is that there are some object modeling related annotations which you can use to increase the performance. So those are, I have given it here. Okay, CDS performance annotations. So there are certain object model annotations. All annotations starting with @object model. These annotations are provided by SAP for better caching, for better execution path in the backend, because every CDS view gets converted into a SQL view, right? A SQL query, and that SQL query will have execution plan, and that execution plan will tell the ABAP compiler that okay, this is the fastest possible way to take data from the tables. So in the backend, there's an execution plan which gets generated. So in order for you to generate one of the best execution plans or the most optimized execution plans, you should try to keep these object model related annotations always there as part of your CDS. What are the three object model important ones? Usage type of service quality, usage type of data class, and usage type size category. These are the three usage type. And see, object model has a lot of annotations, but only three I will introduce for performance reasons: service quality, data class, and size category. Service quality will tell the compiler what kind of CDS view performance you can expect, meaning that if you have a CDS view which is executed for high volume, it's a transaction CDS view, it is consumed via the UI primarily, or it is consumed via analytics primarily, BW, for example, BW, or it is built for some other real-time streaming or high volume real-time analytics, those kind of things. So service quality means what is the usage of this CDS view? Is it UI primarily based for UI, or primarily based for analytics, or primarily based for real-time event-based streaming and things like that, which is high volume, very high volume. So that will enable the compiler in the backend to have better caching and to have better performance. Second is data class. Data class means that same transaction master or your text or organization, things like that. So data class again for cache related. See, all these three annotations are basically dealing with your caching at the backend. So caching and few more system tables which SAP populates for performance reasons. So size data class is basically either your transaction data or master data. Accordingly, the caching and buffering of these particular views happens in the backend. And finally, size category means what are the volume you're expecting? Is it like small t-shirt size, big, medium t-shirt size, large, extra large, XXXL? So those like AC Doka. AC Doka, if you see, you will have XXL mentioned there. So if you mention these three things, it's not mandatory, but if you mention these three things, SAP knows what kind of consumers are accessing the CDS view, what type of data it's there, and how much data is there. With these three annotations, the information you are giving to SAP is allowing SAP to better cache the data and to better buffer the data. Okay, so that's why it is used. And what are these three dots? I don't know. Okay, so these are the three CDS view object model annotations which will help you in your performance. So please try to include them wherever possible. And then of course I gave you the other like guidelines you can use to do it. Okay.
Debanshu, Arpan here. So
Yes,
like while we subscribing the ODQ mon, so any kind of authorization required. Suppose like if we are triggering a DTP from BW side, right? And it is creating a subscription automatically. So does it suppose if it doesn't have a specific permission, so like
It doesn't have,
some
sorry, specific?
permission or authorization to subscribe the ODQ mon? Any kind of any kind of authorization required for subscribing the ODQ mon?
I'm not aware of any special authorization required. As long as you make sure that the ODP CDS source system is active and the data source is enabled for ODP, I think subscription should be seamless unless I'm wrong. I have not faced any such issue where I'm not able to subscribe or the DTP fails with subscription authorizations. No, I'm not aware.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you facing any such issues?
No, simply I asked as a curiosity.
I'm not aware. If there is, I'm not aware because I have personally not faced any such issues. So I don't think so. But if you face any error, just send me the error screenshot and I can investigate what's happening.
Sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
Devanshu Altaf here.
Yes.
You mentioned about corporate memory, right? So,
Yeah.
what is the guideline to store data in a corporate, considering this is HANA and it comes with a very heavy licensing fee? So, do you have any guidance on that from SAP?
Yes, we have. So corporate memory ADSOs are nothing but your staging layer ADSOs. This one, right? And corporate memory keep only one table. Don't keep multiple tables. You can keep multiple tables also, compress data like to save memory. If you want to save the memory, if your memory is your main issue, then you can do a compressed data for corporate memory. But then when you will rebuild it, you'll have to rebuild only with the full mode, not by request by request. So if you want request by request rebuilding capability, then don't compress it. First guideline. Second guideline, keep it field based. No need to keep it info object based because the moment you put an info object, you are putting additional burden on the system by creating all those info object related tables. SID will be there, then your text table, your master data table, things like that. So corporate memory, keep it lean in the sense one table only, inbound queue only, and field based, and keep it field based. The second thing is the data tiering for the corporate memory layer ADSOs are automatically like those tables, the inbound table of the staging layer is marked as your high displacement tables. Okay, high displacement table means as soon as the memory problem will come, those will be the first tables to be displaced from RAM to the disk. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you have activated DTO, data tiering optimization, right? You will see that under data tiering properties, you will have different temperatures, hot, warm, cold. So if you have a DTO enabled, then you should keep the inbound table in the warm data, not in hot data. So that means there has to be a special extension node which has to be added to your HANA nodes. And that extension node will keep the data in your disk, not in RAM anymore. So if you have the DTO activated, then keep all the inbound tables in warm store because they are not used for reporting. They will only be used when you will load the data. And that too, only the latest partition will be used, not all the previous partitions. So automatically the latest partition is loaded in memory when the inbound queue is accessed, and it will be displaced from the memory back to the disk whenever the extraction is done. So if you have DTO activated, keep them in warm store, not in hot store. But if you don't have DTO activated, still SAP has taken care of it in the sense that they have marked them as high displacement. So it's fine.
Devanshu, this is Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
I have put one question in the chat. You want me to read it? Actually, I thought I'll wait till tomorrow's ADSO concept. But
But
if you read it and let me know, I can
let's
wait till
see.
tomorrow also.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
What is the question? Is this where is that?
Data to reporting DSO, that one.
Okay,
7:43
data
p.m.
to reporting DSO is fetched from inbound table of staging a DSO. Yes, if you keep only one table, inbound table or compressed data, it will be reading from inbound
It
table.
was the same last week scenario I'm talking about. Here,
Okay.
I have a small confusion. What if I have to reload specific records after selective deletion in the reporting DSO? I'm taking your second DSO as reporting DSO, staging DSO we have. So will this fetch the data from active table or staging DSO
See,
after selective deletion?
so scenario here is that the data has gone to the second DSO and you have activated the data in the first DSO. So it has gone from inbound table to active table, right? Now you want to do the selective deletion in the second DSO and get that data from the first ADSO to second ADSO. Am I understanding the question correctly?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So in that case, for selective for selective deletion, you will have some selections, right? So with those selections, you will do a full load from the first ADSO to the second ADSO.
Okay, full load will take from active table.
Full load will always take from active table. Full load never goes to change log or inbound table.
But Devanshu, if that selective load is not compressed, then it still remains in your inbound table, right?
Okay, so now you are saying that my first ADSO has the data in inbound table.
Um, let's say it has compressed
No,
data.
my question is not that. I got the answer. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, this is I think the next question, follow-up
Yeah,
question.
while listening to his question, I got this doubt. So if the first layer DSO is a compressed data, like, once you activate it, it transfer the data from inbound to the table, which I assume it is.
No. Once you activate, before you activate, you have to transfer. Before you activate, you have to transfer. Otherwise, you will not be able to transfer.
Okay. That answers, yes.
Yeah.
You will not able to activate itself, right?
Yes.
Devanshu, if you have 1 minute, I would like to talk, not related to technical thing, but yeah, actually 2 weeks back, if you remember, you asked about the feedback, and
Yes.
I said that I'm not able to connect the dots. I'm really sorry. I take back my words. I went back to the videos multiple times on all the topics, and I think it's all connected. Your training is ultimate. I
No,
take
thank
back
you.
my words. I'm really sorry for that.
No, you don't have to be sorry. See, it can very well happen. Like Shakti. See, Shakti is still trying to connect the dots. And see, the dots are now visible on the screen also, right? So we'll have to connect the dots.
Yeah.
So I completely understand. No need to apologize. In fact, this is helping me to improve my training also. So not everybody will be able to follow the flow which I am using, because especially people who are not familiar with BW at all or BW for HANA at all, they will still have questions. Even no training is perfect, right? So you will still have questions, and that's why these question and answer sessions are there to answer your question as much as possible. And I'll try my best to make you understand.
I mean, once I went back to those videos again and then started trying to make some notes kind of thing, then
You
it's all
understood.
connected.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You have structured it so well. I mean, thanks for that.
No problem.
Devanshu, Altaf here again. One question, maybe not related to this topic per se, but in your experience, have you faced any situation where BW is competing against AWS Analytics, and any scenario you have
Oh
come
yeah,
across?
definitely. BW is
For
competing
example, yeah.
against Snowflake right now. I'll tell you. BW is competing against Snowflake. Snowflake apparently is very cheap compared to SAP licenses, and it is becoming popular because it has analytics also. So I'm seeing few clients who have switched from BW to Snowflake analytics. Others are going, few of them are going to Google BigQuery. Google BigQuery is another competitor for BW. And then you have AWS Analytics also, which is Amazon Web Services. So yes, they are definitely, BW is competing, and BW licensing cost is the main factor why clients are going for other products. Because other than the price factor, BW is the tool of choice if you have SAP source systems, because of the standard extractors, because of the CDS views. You can very easily use CDS views, standard CDS views into BW. You can very easily use standard extractors. So BW is a beautiful product if you have SAP sources. Okay. If you don't have SAP sources, then also BW is good. But then you have more options, and you will think about more options because of the cost factor. So that's why now SAP is also shouting cloud, 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 because when you go to cloud, your cost automatically drastically comes down, right? So now SAP introduced data warehouse cloud, DWC, but it is still very not immature tool. It's not yet evolved to the place where BW is, but gradually now they are putting more money and investment into data warehouse cloud. But SAP is already very late in the game. Cloud war, SAP is already late. So it's trying to make up for the lost time, but it's going to take a lot of effort, but they are trying. So yes, BW is competing. And the main reason I think is the cost, licensing cost.
Devanshu, can I add like few points to that?
Sure. Go ahead. But please, let's keep it brief, because now it's already 11:42, so we'll try to wrap up.
Sure. Actually, like what you said is correct. Only the BW licensing cost, that's where like clients are moving towards to different technology. There are like at least 3 clients I know personally, my friends. They went to Snowflake, and for some reason they were not happy, and they came back to BW, and it happened the
Oh,
same
that's a
thing
good
with,
news. Thanks for that.
and Azure Analytics also. My friend is like my colleague, is like ex-colleague. He is architecture. So they started the project to, and with an estimation of like 200,000 or so. They thought it is very cheap, Schlumberger company, and they went with Azure Analytics, all the cloud-based solution, and it was like so much of hassle for the architect and developer to develop all those.
Correct.
And they spent like almost like 2 million, and now the company is planning to wind up Azure Analytics and come back to BW again.
And the reason, you know why? Integration. Because
Integration.
their OLTP will be ECC or S4, because that is the market leader right now. There is no one who can compete with SAP on ECC or the OLTP market right now.
And I heard on the application side, OLTP side also, like the Salesforce application, there are like 2-3 clients who are winding up Salesforce and coming back to SAP product again, just because of the integration reason.
Integration, exactly. Because integrating the standard extractors, SAP has invested 20 years in building and providing us these standard extractors, which makes our life so easy. If you don't have BW, there will be 2 major challenges you will face. First is, of course, your cost will be definitely low, but at the same time, may I know who's that?
My name is Srini Devanshu.
Srini, yes. So what Srini says is absolutely true. They are now realizing that integration aspects, delta aspect, that is one of the major pain points you will face. How will you identify delta? Extractor gave delta very easily. CDS view gives delta very easily. But third party, when you will try to connect with your ECC or S4, identifying delta is going to be a nightmare for you. Inventory. I'm giving a very glaring example. Inventory, how beautifully BW manages. I have not seen any other tool who can manage inventory so easily. Third reason, BPC. BPC is built on BW, whether it is on S4 or a separate, it will always have a BW as a base. if you have BPC and another very matured and very strong product from SAP, BPC, I have not seen many competitors of BPC. So if you have BPC, if you are used to BPC for many, many years, switching from to a third party, how will you do a planning and consolidation? That's going to be another nightmare for you, right? So there are some really good tools. SAP has invested multiple years. So I think clients will realize only when they will switch to another one, and then probably they'll come back 100%. But you know, that does not mean that SAP doesn't have to think about pricing. SAP definitely has to think about bringing its cost down, because if they don't, they cannot sustain in the market for long. I'm telling you.
Yeah, correct. Because you see, Devanshu, you're right. BPC and I think there is also APO, right, which is one of the products. But from a modernization standpoint,
Yeah,
people are saying that,
APO is now known as IBP, Integrated Business
okay.
Planning.
Yeah, but from a modernization standpoint, people are saying that we should go towards cloud and all that. But somebody said that people are again coming back. So that is different. Good news. I mean, you can say for SAP at least.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Devanshu, like, have you checked Celonis?
Yeah, I've checked Celonis. I've worked on Celonis for 1 year. So another beautiful process mining product, right? Within your ECC and S4, graphically, it will show you beautifully how your actual process, starting from your purchase requisition, purchase order, inventory, sales order, invoicing, billing. And you can see the red marks that this is where your process is taking time. This is where the manual entry is required. This is where you are spending most time. So Celonis is also a beautiful process mining tool.
Right. They're also giving, as far as efficiency, everything, it is competing with BW somehow, right?